fact, the first time I sat on this bike was on the tank. It actually took about 17 years for me to ride this bike. This bike belongs to my dad, and we've been carrying this since then. And I've been really passionate about this bike because I really don't any other bike apart from this. I use this to commute in my daily life too. It's not just for the weekends or something. I really have a great passion towards this bike is because the kind of feel that it gives to me, and a lot of memories filled with it. And every time I ride the bike, it kind of goes down straight into the memory lane.
We can keep going around on this wheel.
I drive process improvements. I'm a quality assurance professional, and for a living I ride this bike. This is not a bike actually. His name is Jeremy, and he's like my half brother. Very attached to him. I acquired him in 2009 December, and when I got this, it was not really in a very good shape. You know, considering the fact that my previous bike was a Bullet and it was in a fairly good condition. This bike was in shambles basically when I got it. So I had to undertake a fair bit of restoration, and knowing that restorations are expensive and time consuming, I was ready to put in that amount of time and effort to get this bike done.
I know it's gonna take some time for us to heal. I don't wanna leave you with a broken heart, then take you back right to the start. Lift you up and then put you down. It's time for me to turn around and be free.
It all started because of our common passion for these beautiful bikes. This happens to be my father's bike, which he started using from his college days, and I learned how to ride this quite early, and I started taking this to college myself. So people were scared to rag me because they were scared that if this guy can ride this bike, he must be pretty strong, so let's not mess with him. So it's got a special place even in Christ College. Even today, I used to get special parking privileges because of this bike, and a lot of memories attached to it. So I'm happy that I've got to spend time with this, with my dad, learned how to fix smaller things, and we've taken it on long rides, and even now it's one of the most reliable stuff.
Your morals and values.
My family has become crazy of this because my father did learn how to ride a motorbike on a Yezdi. So when I bought the Classic, he was more into the restoration than me. He sat with the mechanic, got it done, never let me come across. Only when the finished product was there, he came and told me, this is the bike and this is how it looked when I was young riding on it.
But when I took this bike on the long ride, that is when I fell in love with this bike. The first long ride that I did on this bike was to Ooty, and this was 8 or 9 years ago. No helmet, no riding gloves, no riding gear at all, just me and my bike. I was drunk, to tell you the fact. speaking the truth. I was drunk. And when I started riding this bike, I didn't realize what this bike was capable of until I touched Masinagudi. When I touched Masinagudi and I started climbing the Ooty Ghat section, that is when I realized what this bike is capable of.
'Cause there ain't nothing left to hold on to.
This bike was climbing Ooty effortlessly on the third gear. And it's very rare that you would find such a bike that would actually break down. I reached Ooty maybe at like 1 in the night. I have a friend who teaches in a blind school over there. Sat there, met him after a long time, and usually what happens when we men meet is we drink again. I got drunk over there again and left Ooty about 3:30 in the morning. I did not know cold because I was so drunk. And this is when I actually fell in love with the bike. While coming down from Ooty, you know how people ride when they're drunk. Sorry to say this, I was drunk, but then that's the truth. Going down so low that my foot was almost scraping the road when I was climbing down, getting down Ooty. It was so cold, I didn't realize the cold then, but once when I reached Bandipu down, I realized it was very cold and I held the silencer. It was that, but I really couldn't feel my fingers then. It is only after that I fell in love with this bike.
I'm trying to bring back the new.
From a young age, I've been into vintage bikes. It's from the passion that my father shared for scooters. So I've been riding a T5, a Bajaj T5, then a Lambretta, LML Vespa. And so my passion towards vintage bikes started increasing. I was never fond of the modern bikes, as we term it as the plastic ponies. One fall and the bike would not last, put it to scraps. But this baby is something that you can restore, pass it through your generations, and it would still run the way it did, like you bought it from the showroom.
These bikes have been nostalgic because it has been, our fathers have driven it, uncles have driven it. We still drive it, and we expect our children also to drive these bikes, and I'm sure they will survive till then.
We seem to keep going around on this wheel. I ain't sure as we move around what is real.
The main thing, I ride my bike only during the weekends. I don't ride it during the weekdays because I have a 4-stroke and I do not want my bike to be used every day. And I only ride this bike only on the weekends and long rides, and it's very relaxing. Basically, I use riding this bike to recharge myself, so that I'm passionate about working back for the whole week. And apart from this, I being one of the founders of Bangalore Jawa Yezdi Motorcycle Club, we keep meeting every month, and we do a bi-monthly rides, which is around 50 to 60 kilometers away from Bangalore.
I don't wanna waste your precious time. Not sure how to walk the line. We both go up and then come back down. It's time for us to turn around and be free.
I love my bike. I was impressed with the bike, as when you park the bike in the center stand, the front wheel rotates anti-clockwise and again the clockwise, so it keeps on spinning us together. And one more thing is the same clutch lever converts as a kicker for this bike. None of the bike in this century have that kind of feature.
Break all your morals and values.
look at this key, right? Have you seen a bike which has a key like this ever in your life? No. Reason is, belongs to Yezdi. As I said, it's a unique bike in a lot of ways. Well, if you don't want to start your bike with this, you can always nail your door with this in case your door hinge is falling off.
Nothing left to hold on to.
Everybody rides bikes in India, but there's not a whole lot of really passionate people, right? And I think nobody's more passionate than Java owners. And you know, we go on our annual rides, and it's just good fun. And it's a hobby, one that I enjoy, and hope to enjoy for a long time. And if I ever leave India, I hope I take that bike with me wherever I happen to go.
I'm trying to bring back the
Again, as I said, this bike is really a rider's machine, and you don't plan when you start off with this bike. I remember there was a time when I started riding this bike with the hope of just going for a, probably a 1 or 2 kilometer detour from my house and coming back. But I ended up going to Hosur for a cup of tea, which is about 60 kilometers from my house, just for the heck of it. I just wanted to ride him, and I did. I went all the way to Hosur. I had my cup of tea, had a cigarette, and I came back. So that's what this bike does to you. It just gives you a, feeling of freedom, and probably I'm poetic, but it really gives you a break from your, monotonous humdrum existence, which is something that I think in today's generation that's something that we are all looking for. We are too caught up in our little worlds, running after money and hoarding. This bike, if you're really looking for freedom, this is the bike to run.
But I've been blinded by you.
In a way, this bike, has the potential to last for hundreds of years, so to say. Reason being, this bike doesn't fall apart. Even the engine parts, they're so well made and so well designed. There are a handful of parts in the engine, but it all comes together in a very harmonious way, and it just works together. And when you ride it, the sound itself just lets other people know, well, there's a Yezdi or a Jawa coming. I think that's quite making a statement. I like my baby, and I think most of the Yezdi riders do.
Believe it or not, I have a will written that if I die, bury this bike with me.